One, it's about conversion psychology. Guests do not like service fees, any guest fee. I remember back when I was working at Booking.com, we ran experiments. If you show to somebody the same total price, with just one that says, oh, there's a service fee line, and the other one does not, the one without service fee line converts better. It's just psychological. And Airbnb knows this and actually says that usually it does increase the conversion. That's what Airbnb needs right now, right? They want to do everything they can to increase conversion. Again, they've done this in experiments or this in Europe. They know it increases. But number two, by the way, in terms of brand perception, yes, I know some people, some guests thought that the service fee was from you, not from Airbnb. But most actually really do understand it's from Airbnb. So suddenly, in a way, Airbnb is always, people say, oh, Airbnb has become expensive, Airbnb, yada, yada, on the guest side. Well, by erasing its service fee, kind of looks like Airbnb is cheaper, if you will, right? That's if it's expensive, it's not Airbnb's fault, right? It's you deciding on the price, which we know is not the same because in a way Airbnb just forced you to increase their night rates to make up for this. But that's interesting, right? So brand perception wise, well, Airbnbs may look cheaper or at least not as willing to take money. Three, remember, if in the US, the total price display. Airbnb had to set up the total price display on the website before doing this. So the writing was sort of on the wall, right? Since April 2025, Airbnb shows the all-in price front in the US in search results. When you start searching, you see all the prices fully loaded. That was missing piece for them, right? Without it, imagine if they didn't have introduced it first, if they were forcing you now to switch to the host fee model, it would mean that people on a split fee model would look cheaper. Why? Because if you don't show upfront the fully loaded price and you have a higher nightly rate now, right, to make up for these higher costs, a model would show a nightly price that's lower than you, and then at the moment of checkout, we'll see there's actually a service fee to be paid. So by showing the fully loaded price first, it means that Airbnb then makes it not more advantageous to have one or the other model. So then it means then they could roll out this in the US. Why again is it different in Europe? In Europe, by law, it's been 20 years at least that you must show the fully loaded price as soon as people buy. If you ever been to Europe, you know how it is. For example, VAT is included in any price. If you go to the US, you buy something, you have to pay sales tax on top. The price display does not include this. So that's an example with sales tax, but bear with me, right? Just so in Europe, the habit always been to do this. So it was easier to introduce. Fourth thing, let's talk about non-US property managers who are using connected software. Well, for them, right now, actually they're paying 15%, and that will increase to 15.5%. That's not nothing, right? 0.5% in our industry where margins are tight. That's, you can feel it. So that one is interesting because this is a real increase. Because then, as a property manager, you have a choice: either you eat it up or you pass it down, right, to the guests. It's your decision. So you may have to increase your rates and really increase your final prices here, because you're not making up for anything here. That's interesting. But in this case, it's really, really a case where Airbnb is actually taking more money here, because in the end, you need to increase your prices, or you need to, so the guests will pay more, or you need to eat it up, so you'll pay more. Interesting, right? So here's the bottom line. If you're a US PMS-connected manager, you're losing split fee, no more, and moving to 15.5 host-only fee model. If you're non-US, Europe, for example, you're already on a host-only fee, right? But you're moving up to 15.5%. It's 16% in Brazil. If you're non-connected, you can still stay on split fee unless you opted for the host-only fee earlier. So yes, Airbnb's distribution cost is going up, but your margins don't have to shrink, right? If you're not yet on a host-only fee, as long as you act. Adjust your nightly rates, think about your cleaning fee, think about your markups. Guests won't see a service fee anymore, which improves conversion, and you'll keep the same money in your pocket. Just for example, if you're European, in your case, it is increasing by 5%, so 0.5%. So you have to think what to do: eat up pass it down.